So it's a pleasure to be talking to you about this fantastic new program that we have been working on. Data Science at Suffolk is a very special kind of discipline within computing, technology and engineering. The actual programs that we currently run focus on practical and hands-on experience and making sure that whatever we do and the support that we're offering, as well as the expertise and skills that we are passing on to our students, are in line with industry expectations. So quite a lot of our members of staff are also research active. So not only will students be hearing more about it from us as experienced researchers, we'll also be hearing about topics on data science from industry experts. We have updated our curriculum this year overall, not just because of this apprenticeship, to make it in line with recent developments in AI, and we have increased focus on data engineering. So we see data science as not being just about analyzing the data. We think that it's also about building systems, about building all the kind of automation around this system. So this is essentially part of the philosophy of what we are suggesting here in terms of the degree. Our students will have opportunities to work on real-world projects, brief scenario-based kind of assignments, as well as data sets. So we are very, very interested to see how that goes. So let me give you a course overview. If we can get to the next slide, please. Course overview of what we have planned for our apprentices for the Data Science Apprenticeship. This is a 3-year degree program. There will be 4 6-week blocks per year in a kind of semester kind of way. 120 credits will be available to them per year, so 316 total for them to graduate. And as with any standard apprenticeship, they will also have to go through an endpoint assessment that will involve essentially 3 parts: a knowledge test, a final year work-based project, as well as a professional discussion on their portfolio. Usually they will be asked to put together 6 to 8 mini workplace projects that they could then be discussing. So let me discuss a bit more, then tell you more about the data science program stages. So the kind of steps they will be going through as students, as apprentices, will involve most likely an on-program development of 500 written report proposal and portfolio evidence that will demonstrate all the KSBs for the SLA standard. They will be earning 120 academic credits to achieve the certification of higher education project management. There are some gateway requirements, some English and maths that will be required of them at minimum of level 2, and quite a few sets of evidence in terms of what they should be providing. There will need to be evidence of the completed off-the-job training record, and of course the employer will need to have agreed that the apprentice has met the standard requirements through formal processes. Following the gateway requirements, at the end of their program, they will be working towards their EPA. Then at that time of the EPA assessment, they will be needing to complete a 3,500 report and a presentation of these materials by the end of the last week of their EPA period. And the IEPA will have 2 weeks to review the reported presentation, and will need to be given EPAO will be given 2 weeks notice of presentation and professional discussion dates. The next big milestone is the live assessment day. Again, they will have a presentation and a professional discussion within 2 weeks from that written report. And finally, fingers crossed, that process will be completed. And at the end of that whole process, the apprentice will have a degree of their BSc and with a pass or distinction grade, as well as a recognized qualification for level 6 project management degree apprenticeship. So what we can see here is that hopefully all that will align with all the standards that need to be given. So if we can go on to the next slide, please. What are we aiming to teach our data scientist apprenticeships? we will need to make sure that they become data scientists and professionals that not only they know their data science, they know their artificial intelligence tools and can use them to the best effect. We also would like them to be work ready, adaptable and ethically minded data professionals with strong data engineering skills, as I mentioned in the beginning. So it is very important for us that we don't just develop professionals, we also develop ethically minded data professionals. So we will be putting stress on ensuring that they master the full data life cycle from the beginning of how we collect the data, how do we prepare it, biases that can be included, as well as all the different skills in evaluation and presentation of these insights for non-data scientist professional audiences. We have built-in skills development around communication and professional skills, as well as loads of opportunities for them to learn new things on the job as well. So what we want them is to be able to integrate their modern AI tools to be able to go through these processes. Finally, as with any apprenticeships, we have aligned the curriculum to the knowledge, skills, and behavior set in the Data Scientist Apprenticeship Standard. Let me just present very briefly what the years will involve. We can of course go back and have a further look during the question session if needed. So year one, here are the modules that will be involved. They will be introduced to programming fundamentals and mathematics, as well as data analytics, and they will be taking a whole module on ethics and security, as well as project management and professional development. For year two, so if we can switch to the next slide, they will be going into more details around the analytics and machine learning, as well as how to be manipulating and working with big data and cloud computing, as well as the automating the machine learning pipeline. So machine learning ops, DevOps, as well as project management are the kind of modules that we would like them to take at this level. And last one, year three, if we can go back to the previous slide very quickly, if we can, I'll just mention this. So year three, don't worry. Year three, it will essentially involve two modules. Thank you. Two modules, applied AI, then the data science project. So for the delivery, assuming a February start in 2026, we have outlined here the timings in terms of blocks or semesters, if you like, and the 6-week teaching blocks with 1 week assessment period, followed by 1 week for rest, as well as preparing for the following block. On that note, let me briefly go through the assessments before handing over to Ian. So the kinds of assessments we have prepared and ensure both that the apprenticeship standard is followed, as well as that our students get a varied experience of all sorts of assessment experiences. So from programming portfolios to scenario-based to knowledge tests inside the class, so database design implementation, so designing architecture diagrams, putting this together into applications, as well as the opportunity to work within a team, so group projects, case studies, as well as different reflective journal and professional development plans. So their final project was most likely going to involve them bringing together all the knowledge from both the apprenticeship and their work experience to build a full stack data science solution. So essentially an end-to-end product that they can then take forward within their employment if needed. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Ian, who'll be talking to you more about skills and technology.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, and nice to see you all. And thank you for inviting me along. So I won't try not to take too much of your time, really. So just to sort of explain who we are and how we're connected to this conversation. So we are called Tech Skills. You can see on there we're part of Tech UK, and I'll explain that in a second. But the reason we've been invited along is we're a fully ratified national accreditation body, a PSRB. So we accredit tech courses across the UK. We've been doing that since 1995, and we already have a really strong relationship with the University of Suffolk because we accredit the DTSP course. This course is new, and we've been involved sort of from the outset in supporting in the development of it. with the team there, Adnan and the whole team, and we're really excited to be accrediting the course. So I'm only going to whiz through sort of what we do and explain a bit about that and some of the opportunities. So yeah, we're the only industry-led tech accreditation in the UK. So exactly to Kakia's point, we're entirely driven by employers, and our role is to bring together employers and academia and students to make sure they get the best possible outcomes. And all of the phraseology that you just heard about work ready, employability, maximizing understanding of what the industry is doing now, but also doing in the future, they're our primary aims and goals. So as I say, we're the only industry-led accreditation in the UK for tech. We've got in our membership about 1,200 tech companies, many large tech companies, but as you all know, the majority of companies in the UK are SMEs, and we've got about 93 to 95% of those as well in our membership. That allows us to draw on a massive pool of expertise when we're developing new standards. So really quickly, the way it works, yes, degree apprenticeship standards are already developed by employers anyway, and we were sat on the Trailblazer group for this standard as well. But even beyond that, we then relook at what's being taught in a university when they come through us to be accredited. So exactly to Kakia's point, and the whole team, I'm sure, have echoed this, that it's a really good sense check opportunity in terms of employers that we work with as a panel will look at the learning outcomes, how it's going to be taught, what expectations you've got for your students, and we will then, our employers, sorry, will look at that and say, okay, right now in industry, that's absolutely what's needed. They may give some advice, support, tweaks, opportunities. So when being accredited, it's a really strong sense check of that. But more interesting than that, beyond that, I suppose, is we don't then leave universities wondering what's coming in the sector. We will constantly update the team with developments in the sector, so those employers will reconvene from the accreditation all throughout the journey. Usually accreditations we have run for about 3 years, but across that time we will constantly update the university with new developments, new opportunities in tech, what's happening with those employers, with the understanding that beyond the teaching, which can't always be changed immediately because there's cycles of approval and internal conversations, we will wrap a huge amount of enrichment around all of your learners. So that comes in a multitude of ways. We do guest lectures, we do events, roundtables, webinars, national competitions, hackathons. As Kaki said, we can support with real world, real live briefs. I can give you a quick example of that. We did that for a university 3 weeks ago. Two of our employers set the brief on the Monday. It was a degree apprenticeship. In fact, it was data science degree apprenticeship. They then worked on the brief across the week, and then on the Friday we took in 5 employers who judged the presentations from the students, gave them some really rich feedback. Then there was a nice networking opportunity where the students could ask questions on a sort of panel format, and then we had a nice coffee and lunch, and the students could follow up with additional questions. So we can leverage and develop all of those opportunities throughout the course. Wider opportunities, we have a wide academic community. So Kakia, Adnan, all the team, we meet regularly with our providers and employers to feed in best practice, new approaches, EPA conversations. We had an hour-long meeting yesterday with all of our providers, looking at EPA approaches, best practice, sharing ideas. So there's a huge opportunity for your academics and you as employers to join us and work through understanding apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, and continuing that conversation. So I don't want to take too much more time, and you can all look at the slides as I'm sure they'll be posted out. But we're really excited to work with the university on an additional course. We're delighted to connect with you as new employers. You're more than happy to follow up. I can send you all my contact details because once you're part of the course, you can certainly as employers join us at events, come through us for opportunities, join us at membership events, whether they're connected to the university or not. And the last thing I'll say is just to give you an impact. We work with at the moment about 43 universities across the UK, and that's growing by the week, which is great. About 6,000 students, and we've been doing this since 1995 in the tech sector. So we have a really strong reputation, and a lot of our employers will insist on universities getting accredited through us and being Tech Industry Gold accredited through Tech Skills, because the tech sector knows the impact and efficacy of that. And the last thing I'll say is degree apprenticeships are fantastic. We have unbelievably strong learners. I'll give you an example. One of whom, as an alumni, I spoke to this morning, and she's going to come and do a guest lecture for us on Monday at the University of East London. High quality. All of our learners get higher results, higher impact in the sector, longer term, stronger job prospects, because we can provide them with such strong industry connections, allied to the fantastic teaching that the team at Suffolk are going to deliver. So thank you for inviting me along. I'm more than happy to follow up with any of you afterwards, but I'm aware there's a lot to get through. So I'll pass over to whoever's speaking next. Yeah.
I think that would probably be me. Thanks very much, Ian. Just to still stress upon that the links, the industry links that students will be benefiting from. I mean, in any apprenticeship, but particularly at the University of Suffolk, we have at the university, this is yes, our first year of delivering the data scientist apprenticeship, but by no means it's our first apprenticeship we've ever delivered. We have a strong background and a good team behind the scenes that will keep supporting you throughout the application and onboarding process. So and we also within the team have got experience of working on a DTS apprenticeship for several years now with loads of local technology companies. We also, as part of all of these, both our mainstream as well as our apprenticeship modules and courses, we offer fantastic facilities for our students, including specialized computing labs and areas where they can actually talk and work and collaborate with each other. So really dynamic, really interesting and nice places where they could be doing group work as well as researching and doing more work on their assessment. So library has got what you would expect from a university to have, so access to loads of open source areas as well as books and ebooks that they can benefit from, as well as pods and areas where they could be doing both individualized and quiet study as well. Outside of the scheduled lessons, our students are encouraged to be making use of these facilities, connect and talk to each other. If we can move on to the next slide so that I can highlight the industry links as well. In addition to tech skills, we have been fantastic at getting all sorts of experience for our students. We have a lot of links with both Ipswich local and Suffolk local companies. Some of them are listed here on the slide, but we have been working with them very proactively to try and get real projects, real concerns, real areas of interest for our students. So we organize at least twice a year a hackathon event with some company, usually a local company that is focusing around web. Recently, we've done one with local councils as well. And we also organize an industry day every year. This is to try and attract people into both local businesses and to sort of familiarize themselves with our graduates, as well as the other way around, get our graduates to speak to employers in the local area. We're also amongst universities, one of the universities in the UK that have been accredited to be an active AWS academy. So that essentially means that our students benefit from bespoke, free, additional training and certification on AWS cloud services. So there are loads of other opportunities for additional work and experience, such as other types of certification, depending on what our students are interested in, from cloud computing to loads of LinkedIn learning activities, as well as the ability to benefit from other kinds of certifications, such as Juniper, Oracle Academy, etc. So there is plenty of opportunity to learn, and in some respects, so little time. But most of our students see their study at the university, and as well as during the apprenticeship, I presume, as something that enhances their employability altogether. So here is some of what our older students, some of what our alumni have been saying. I'll leave that with you too, and also when the slides will become available to consider. The general attitude is that we have a very supportive environment where our students are going to be flourishing, and the apprentices will just benefiting from working within your organization and getting hands-on experience, they will also be assured of a very high standard of support and study at our university. So a national award recently won by one of our DTS apprenticeships. There again, Xenia has done some fantastic work explaining, doing loads of interesting projects as well as the dissertation. So do have a look at her work when you get the chance to revisit the slides. So if what we've been saying today has been of interest, or if you would like just to simply get to know more about what apprenticeships could mean for you, especially if your organization is thinking around getting data science on board, I strongly encourage you to send us an email, get in touch with us. We have a good experienced team, both in terms of delivering apprentices, organizing them, as well as delivering them as a course. So I will hand back to probably either Graham or Gemma for a roundup in their chair fashion. So thank you very much.
So thank you, Katya, and thanks to Ian and to the other presenter, Gemma, for stepping in for Ellen was having some technical difficulties. So that's very helpful from that point of view. We are going to share the slides with everybody, so you will have a chance to review the slides in your own time. And what we want to do at this point was just give people the opportunity to ask any questions. As far as I can see, there's nothing gone into the chat so far, so hopefully we've managed to cover most of the subjects that are of interest. If you have questions and you want to do that now, please take the opportunity. Again, if you want to put it in the chat, that's fine. Or alternatively, use the email to send us individual questions and we'll get back to you just as soon as we possibly can. So if anybody has a particular question they want to ask, then please put your hand up or put it in the chat. We'll go from there. And in the absence of any questions appearing at the moment, at least I can't see anybody, and Gemma will no doubt tell me if I've missed anybody, but I don't think I have. If that's all for everybody, then thank you very much for attending this session today. Hope you found it of interest. As I said, we'll send the slides out to you so you can capture in your own time. And we look forward to talking to you in more detail about our apprenticeship. Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Oh, is it all right if I just ask, when who would we get in contact with if we're interested in doing this apprenticeship?
So I can't see who it is. I'm struggling slightly. Is that?
Sorry.
This is Nicholas. Hi, Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Sorry. For some reason, you just didn't appear on my screen at all. So sorry for being so rude and ignoring you. I beg your pardon. Sorry, you wanted to know how you get in contact with us to talk about your apprenticeship. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gemma, can you just go back onto the previous slide? Because there's a QR code on there, which hopefully you can scan. And that will give you a link. There you go. That will give you a link into us as Business Solutions. And then obviously we've then got your email address and we'll start the dialogue with you in terms of what it is you're trying to do and hopefully try and put you in the right direction to answer any particular questions you have, or whether it's about a generic apprenticeship question in terms of how the apprenticeship will work, we can answer that one as well. But that'll be a starting point if that's okay. And then we'll pick it up from there.
Could I just interject slightly here? Are you an employer, or are you wanting to be an apprentice within this?
I would like to do the apprenticeship.
Right. Okay. So, do you have an employer that are you already employed with somebody that is looking to put you onto the apprenticeship?
No, I found this presentation on Eventbrite and I was interested in it.
Right. Okay. No, that's absolutely fine. So what you would need to do is you would need to find an employer who is looking to take on somebody who is and they're happy to put you on this apprenticeship. Once you've found that employer, and we can put you in contact with people that we think might be looking for apprentices within this apprenticeship. And then once they've agreed, we can then work with them and get you registered and start that process. But the first initial point is getting you into an employer who is looking to take people on this apprenticeship. So I think the best thing to do is if you email us on this email with all your details, we can then get in contact with you and then help you and point you in the direction of businesses that might be looking for people.
Okay, right. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Yeah.
Is there any more questions?
I'm going to say, have I missed anybody else? I don't think I have from what I can. But if there aren't any more questions and nothing in the chat, we can end the event at that point.
Okay.
So
thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much to everybody.
Right.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.